normalisation from the form, if you're doing normalisation from a form, the first thing to do is imagine the blank form. Yeah? So like if you go to the undergraduate office and you get a form to register your modules for your next year, it's got all the headings filled in, you only have to fill in the details. So by seeing the form filled in, you can see the kind of data that's being filled in. So you can see whether it's letters or whether it's numbers. But when you see the blank form is helping you see what the names of the attributes are. Because when you fill in the form, you're actually putting the data in that are the values that would be stored in the database. But when you're looking at the headings on the form, those are like the attributes for the entities in the database so that you can see what's going to be stored. Take this one off, put this one on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? So what we're saying here is the unnormalised data says we have the student number, yeah, because we had student number, that's going to be primary key, and the name, and we had degree or degree root. Then, underneath that, we had several rows. Several rows, several means. What's it telling you about the data? You've got a repeating group. Yeah? So if you look at the form and you think, oh, I could fill in several modules here, you think, ah, that must be a repeating group. So we have course number, course title, lecturer, lecturer location and grade as a repeating group. And we know that from seeing the form filled in. If we saw the blank form, we'd see there were several lines to be filled in. So when you see the form, not only think about what the headings are, but also think about whether you're going to have one or more value in each. Yeah?
Absolutely.
You were going to ask something?
So the grade, you put in the repeating, should be that, or they could not?
Like if you look at the form, on each row, you've got module number, module title, lecturer, lecturer location and grade. So you don't have several grades. If you look at the form, that's just saying that line is repeated. Yeah? So this bit here is what's happening here. Yeah? So it's taking all these headings and saying you will put in values on each row. So because you've got several rows with several different sets of values, that makes it a repeating group.
You get A improvement.
What the grade
That's
belong to the student.
you get A improvement.
Yeah, but what we're doing is we're normalising the data from the form,
Yeah, sure.
and we're starting with unnormalised data. We haven't finished, we've started.
I would have been that's functional.
No, we're not talking about functional dependencies yet. What we're saying is, let's identify the different data that we've got. Okay? And the different data that we've got is on this document, you've got one student ID, one student name, one degree route, but several of the rest. Yeah? So you've got several rows that repeat because you've got different values for module number, module title, lecturer, lecturer location and grade. Yeah? Yes?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you've got several rows. So that's how you get the unnormalised data. Then you need to start thinking about how you decompose it to get it into normalised data. You are right, yeah, that they don't go together finally, but that's how we start off with the data. So what we're doing then is we're saying the top part of the form, grade report 1, is the student number, student name and degree, and the registration deals with everything else. So it's separating out the student number and the course and everything else that relates. So that's extracting the data here that repeated in the unnormalised format. Right, so to get to first normal form, we need to extract the repeating groups. So here, nothing repeats. If you look for a student and a course, then you can see the details that relate to what's happening, and we don't have any more repeats. If we then go to second normal form, what we're saying here is we're extracting partial dependencies. So everything has to be fully functionally dependent on the primary key. So here is where you extract the grade. Yeah, personally I would say rather than course this should say module. Yeah. Right, but this isn't what I've written, this is what was used last year. Yeah? So, what's happening here is you're saying the details are extracted so that you don't have a repeating group. Now what we're saying is each student for a particular module has a particular grade, and you've got the details of the tutor for the course. Then what we do is we say we need to extract the transitive dependencies. Okay? So what we're saying here is actually the lecturer's name and the lecturer's location